All right, guys, I do have to let you know that there is some good news today. I do have some good news for all of you, if you were unaware. The Infowars debacle, where, one Alex Jones had one of the biggest misinformation platforms in the world and harassed people who, had kids who were involved in a giant school shooting. That Alex Jones no longer has access to Infowars. Now, this has been the case for a while now. He hasn't had access to it in truth for a while, but The Onion is now finally messing around with Infowars properly, and I think that is fantastic. We live in a world of absolute parody, and I think that that parody should be celebrated every day when the parody benefits us. So, we're going to read an article together real quick. At long last, Infowars is ours. Let me tell you a story. When I was a child, I suffered from night terrors. It was always the same dream. I could hear my family and neighbors wailing in the street outside as they were pursued and then destroyed by a nameless, malevolent force. Something neither I nor anyone else could control. A great darkness that was, somehow, all my fault. Today, that childhood dream has finally come true. Today, I can finally say the sweetest 9 or 10 words in the English language. Global Tetrahedron has completed its plan to control Infowars.com. God, I love when Alex Jones loses access to things. I think he's great. I think he's fantastic. They say I've had a lot of time to think about Infowars in the last year and a half. As the seasons have changed, my ambitions for the project have grown grander, crueler, better aligned with market data. Come, friends, and imagine with me. Imagine a roaring arena packed to the rafters with pathological liars. High above you in the nosebleeds are podcasters, screaming that you'll die if you don't buy their skincare products. Below on the floor, imagine demonic battalions of super influencers physically forcing people into home fitness devices designed to dismantle their bodies bone by bone and reassembling them into a grotesque statue of yourself. Out of the throngs, an extremely sick-looking man approaches you. He puts his hands on your shoulder and he explains that he is your life coach and that you owe him $800. Such is the Infowars I envision, an infinite virtual surface teeming with ads, not just ads, but scams. Not just scams, but lies with no object, free radical misinformation, sentences and images so poorly thought out that they are unhealthy even to view. For just a few seconds. A digital platform where everyday visitors sacrifice themselves at altars of delusion and misery, their minds fully disintegrating on contact. With this new Infowars, we will democratize psychological torture, welcoming brutal and sadistic ideas from everyone, even the very stupidest among us. It'll be like the Manhattan Project, only instead of a bomb, we'll be building a website. The Infowars of tomorrow will converge into a swirling vortex of content about content, talent acquiring talent, rings of concentric media mergers processing all human artistry into one endlessly digestible slurry. This will be a dank, sunless place, one where panic and capital feed on each other like twins in the womb of a hulking, unknowable monster. A monster known by many names, but which I like to call modern-day America. All of this is to say that I believe in us. I believe that with the new Infowars, we can alchemize the pioneering spirit of amateur inquiry, the profit-maxing drive of corporations, and the cold mental clarity that comes only with disciplined daily ingestion of mind and body-altering chemicals. If we can do that, what other great things can we do together? I don't yet know, but I'm excited to find out. Welcome home, warriors. The future belongs to us. We're writing the story now. It's going to be a long one, and it's going to be a bad one. So settle in, make yourself comfortable, buy a tote bag. Nothing can stop us now that we're in charge of a website. Infinite growth forever. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. At last, Global Tetrahedron takes over Infowars. Would you like to become one of the people who pays for the website? $25 US a month. Oh, this is fantastic. This is great. I need to find out. Hold on. Infowars. I want to see. Oh, they haven't fully taken over yet. Alex Jones is still on the front page. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. To be honest, the Onion is probably the best way to help the Sandy Hook families. Likely. Wait a minute. None of the categories are clickable. I can't click any of it. Their website's broken. Oh, that's so funny. There was a thing in there. Hold on. There was a thing there that said, let's see if it's in the beginning again. Nick Shirley confronts California Democrats who signed the Stop Nick Shirley Act. Potential future American presidents being raised in communist China. Trump says he expects to be bombing Iran if no deal is reached. As U.S. seizes Iran-linked tanker. Bloomberg and Democrat-backed Onion falsely claims ownership of Infowars. Tune in now. Jones accuses the Onion of planning to... Okay, fuck off. To misrepresent him and attempt to confuse people and defame him. Alex, you defame yourself when you speak. Nothing changed here. Not even a little bit. It says that Alex Jones had words about this on Twitter. I gotta see this. Okay. Okay, so this was supposed to be a video for the secondary channel, but it may actually... manage to be a video on main.
But look at this New York Post headline. Furious Alex Jones vows to fight takeover of Infowars by the Onion. They were caught in a fraudulent auction, got kicked out of federal court. The judge said it looked like it was criminal, but wouldn't say it was criminal. And here they are trying to take this operation over. And it says Jones did a passion plea for listeners to buy products, thealexshowstore.com, which isn't part of my estate. Funds the new network. Yeah, we need funds to continue to fight. The Onion CEO says he had a deal to buy Infowars and grand designs beyond owning Alex Jones. They say they filed a year and a half ago that we will own his name. The 13th Amendment no longer exists. He is our slave.
What? I read the post. That's not what they said, Alex. They didn't say anything about the 13th Amendment. At all. What the fuck are you talking about, you idiot? What are you talking about? Jassa says it wasn't criminal. You're not in jail.
That got shot down in federal court. Now they're trying in state court. This is insane. So, yes, I need you to buy the supplements. They're great. The T-shirts.
My God, that's why they've been parodying you. You don't understand. I don't know how to operate without my website. I need my website. You need to buy supplements. You need to buy this T-shirt. Buy my merch. Buy my merch. Buy my merch. Oh, what a fucking loser! Anyway, sidebar, did you know that there are 2 playmats you can buy to support both this and my Magic the Gathering channel? There's links in the description. It's the fourth wall link. There's 2 shirts there, one designed by Pernia and one done by Will Shaw Art. Please support the channel and what I do. You can also buy Magic the Gathering cards from Manipool. They'll give you $5 off your first purchase if you use my link in the description. There you go. Fucking, if he's gonna promote himself, I'm gonna promote myself. Let's go, Alex.
All of it at thealexshowstore.com. The Infowars apparel, it'll be limited edition if we get shut down.
It'll be limited edition if we get shut down. If we get shut down, it's limited edition, brother. That's the silver lining. At least your Infowars merch is limited edition. Sure. Absolutely, buddy. Absolutely. Phased Dumbass says hi. First stream. His name is Phased Dumbass 677. I don't know if I hate it or not. Pull on the handlebars, brother.
This is all coming down. 32 years of
It's awfully hot in here, isn't it, Charlie, brother?
Fighting right now. I can't do it without you. I need your support. We've survived so much, it becomes kind of a passe deal. Oh.
Yeah, they survived defaming all the victims of the Sandy Hook shooting. He survived getting his 15th Rolex, profiting off the suffering of others. If people piss on his grave afterwards, it is not a desecration of a corpse, it is justice.
Oh, Jones has survived so much. Well, we'll see on the 30th. We're here on the 1st. They're turning everything off. But what they can't do is, we're still on appeal, is hand it over to somebody. That's why the courts, federal and state, have said you can't do a sale. So they're leasing it to them to, quote, come in the building. The scumbags are on TV, national news, with Rachel Maddow saying, we're moving. They already say they're here. They're not. They said it a year and a half ago. They're liars. So support us at thealexjonesstore.com.
My guy, the difference between them and you, as has always been the case, is when I look at you, you have to use a legal defense of parody to pretend that you are not a threat to the world around you. When the Onion exists, we know it's parody. That you are such a goddamn loser in every meaningful description.
That's not part of Infowars. When they announced they owned us a year and a half ago, it killed sales 76%.
Good. Absolute cinema. Absolutely fantastic. You deserve to lose every single dollar that you have accumulated off the suffering of others. Every single one. As a person who grew up in my high school years as a fan of you, rip bozo. Get fucked, loser.
Never came back. We started bigly right around that time, saying, hey, that's not owned by me. They can't get that. So that's where we are. But it's absolutely crazy what lengths these people will go to. And I tell you, as soon as I exposed Trump 3 weeks ago, I've already been critical of him. All hell broke loose to these known leftist operatives. Mockingbird Media, let me tell you, they're not just liberals, folks. They are three-letter agencies all the way. They're not just liberals. They're all three-letter agencies.
Jessica Davis says, you used to like him? Yeah. In high school, I was an Alex Jones fan. Right out of high school, I used to listen to his broadcast. A friend of mine introduced me to the movie Zeitgeist. And it was the cut of the movie that had the clips from Loose Change and Alex Jones's clips inside it. So I got introduced to Alex Jones, and then I hyperfixated on him for a straight fucking year. It took me a longer time after that, a much longer time after that, to realize how full of shit he was. I remember being at work talking about the fucking Bilderbergers to anybody who would listen, because I thought I had this special knowledge. I didn't realize that I was duped. It didn't occur to me that a guy was selling supplements and I was basically directing people to him. Did not occur to me at all. At all. Oh my God. Alex Jones, this is key. The 13th Amendment is being violated to order to force Alex Jones into indentured servitude. Constitutional expert Robert Barnes breaks down how the Bloomberg-backed Onion is attempting to take over and own Alex Jones and own his identity, to misrepresent his views and create a counterfeit version of him that will serve their political agenda. My guy, nobody gives a shit about you anymore. Holy fuck. Oh, that's great. That is fantastic. These people have RFK's brainworms just in their ears, and it is fantastic.
This is further affirmation that Bloomberg and his gun control freaks and the other lawfare nuts were behind this attack on your free speech and their efforts. But it tells you where they're going, right? Just as the efforts to censor you off Instagram and Facebook and X and YouTube and everywhere else was a sign of where they were going towards the president and towards the rest of us. They're going to use AI to try to usurp our identities, to try to pretend to be us, to have a new level of fake news.
Remember in their June 14th thing 2 years ago, they said the 13th Amendment doesn't apply to Alex Jones. We own his name and likeness. And of course, Elon had to come in and block that, not to even defend me, but to defend everybody.
And for those that don't remember, that's the 13th Amendment is what banned slavery and involuntary servitude and indentured servants. So they were trying to say that they could make someone their personal slave because, don't worry, it's their AI version. It's a fake version of them.
So, okay, this is not me trying to defend tech bros and AI. It's not. But if an AI facsimile of you exists, that's not you. It's not breaking the 13th Amendment if that thing is owned by somebody else. There's certainly other laws it breaks, but the 13th Amendment is not one of them. You're not enslaved. None of you, not a single one of you is a constitutional expert. Not even in the tiniest, itty-bittiest amount. Every one of you is a laughable troll, and I think it is hilarious watching every one of you skitter.
Even though they're operating under that person's name, that person's identity, that person's physical address, that person's internet address. address, that person's social media accounts. Oh, I mean, it would be a blue check.
By the way, when I told Patrick Bang David that like 4 months ago in Miami, he usually believes me. He goes, that's not true. His crew was so good. See if you can do it. As Bloomberg had a post of the filing, because I was in the court when they said it. And it said the 13th Amendment does not apply to Alex Jones. He's a special case. We will own his name, likeness, and we will exactly. I mean, this is like insane.
Not only that, they could get an injunction to prevent you from speaking on your own behalf in your own name. That's where they were going. That they had the exclusive right to your identity. Take all this law that has developed about celebrities that, even their estates, like people like Elvis and others, Michael Jackson and others, they get to control their use even after
death. And let's be clear, though, they do 360 agreements. That's why Prince had to be, say, the artist formerly Prince. I never did that.
Exactly. But their goal was to get that right to effectively completely censor you under the guise of enforcing their trademark law, because they would effectively own your identity, own your image, own your social media. So if you tried to counteract that by sharing your actual viewpoints and from your own self, they would get a legal injunction to preclude it and prohibit it under the guise that it's a trademark brand injunction.
Okay. And do we have any prior precedent of this happening in any way that makes it even remotely believable? No? Weird. Weird. Can any of you look up an incident where somebody did not have the right to their own name such that they were not allowed to give their opinion out in the real world? Can any of you find an instance of that happening in the United States of America? Anybody? Anyone?
Bueller?
I would love to find out. I would love to be educated if that was the case. That's sort of like with OJ Simpson. So OJ Simpson was barred from being able to say words, was given a court order not to say certain things, because that can happen. A gag order can happen. If you're in prison, you can't profit off your crimes. That's not the same thing. Strategy members, there might be some cases with the reality TV shows, but I'm not sure how real those cases were. Jessa said he was barred from being able to profit from his own story. Let's see here. O.J. Simpson said that's the closest I can get. Okay, so he was barred from spending the money from the book If I Did It. There were orders that the rights of the book be auctioned off for $35 million. And the wrongful death judgment was owned to the Ron Goldman family. The Goldman family acquired the rights to I Did It, Confessions of the Killer, ensuring all profits went towards the civil judgment. That's fucking fine. That's entirely fine. If somebody commits a crime, murders somebody, and the only reason that they get off with it is because of a lawyer basically going, if the glove doesn't fit, even though there's all kinds of other evidence against them. And the only thing that you're not allowed to do is specifically make money off of the book you wrote about it. You're already a famous name. Write another fucking book. Like, I'm sorry. If that is as close as we can get, Alex Jones is going to be fucking fine. Alex Jones is going to be fucking fine. He can stop being a baby about this. He's tired. He lives in a world where he's been able to say what he wants with impunity and harm people with impunity for years, and he is upset for no other reason than he is now being held to task for it. That is it. And that's hilarious. That is hilarious. Oh, and I just got a message from the plumbers saying, oh, are you still able to shower and do everything you need to do? No, not at all. That's what not having a working well does. It sucks. It's not great. It's not fantastic.
So, I mean, that's how nuts it was that, they're trying to misapply this law. And with the new emerging technology that allows them to create fake images of people in a very a way that will fool most people, this is becoming increasingly dangerous.
So they are right about that. I will grant them that. Using AI to create the likeness of a person, I think should be fucking illegal. 110%. Making them say anything, whether you agree with it or not, should be illegal. And the person who does that should 100% get slapped with some kind of law. We do not currently have any broad reaching laws about that can be used against people, not to the degree that I would like, because it's not quite identity theft. It's not really that. Not in the way that we understand identity theft, but it is evil. Yeah, I agree. AI libel, AI slander is bad. 110%. 110%.
Constitutional amendment that prohibits that is the 13th Amendment. All forms of indentured servitude are precluded. You cannot force somebody to speak on a certain behalf. You cannot steal their identity.
And you see the judge when they got on the stand and they defended that filing. He was just like, normally doesn't make any faces. He was like, what? He was like, what? I mean, yeah, there it is.
It would have been one of the most precarious precedents ever set. It's the ability of the government to not only censor you, but create a fake version.
Okay, Alex Jones's social media accounts are not the ordinary accounts of a private citizens, and the sale of the Jones Bakersy estate's interest in the social media accounts does not require Alex Jones to perform any personal services that would otherwise violate the 13th Amendment. Okay? What's the problem there? What's the issue there? What is the issue there? At all? Because, like, okay, can you make the argument that Alex Jones is not just the person, but is also a brand? Because I think we can make that claim. I think that's a perfectly reasonable claim. That he is as much a person as he is a brand. So there is an argument to be made about how much access to that brand he should have. Now, that doesn't violate the 13th Amendment. That is effectively an extension of a gag order. More than anything. Oh no, we'd have to make an extra Twitter account. Boo fucking who? Oh no, he'll have to buy a different website. He'll have to sell one of his 12 billion Rolexes to do it. Boo fucking who? He has to make a new brand, but he is still Alex Jones. He just wouldn't be the brand Alex Jones. Who cares? I cannot muster up the spoons to care about such a vile human. I would instead like to imagine myself dancing around on the ashes of his empire.
Of you. And get buy-in from the authentic viewpoints. I mean, at times, you would think we got a simulated version of President Trump at the moment. You know, I mean that's how that can go. These sort of fake versions could convert somebody's audience into thinking they're getting an honest opinion from that individual they've come.
Fake versions, like the ones that Trump showed everybody where he was Jesus and then he said he was a doctor. Those? Just Timu Alex. Yeah, Timu Alex Jones. Can we get Timu Alex Jones? He'll be less dangerous than regular Alex Jones. Oh my God.
To trust, not realizing that isn't their opinion.
And here's an
at all.
example. Let's say you're a famous music star, opera singer. You die, you give your wife your estate, she gets in debt and they grab it, and then now they have an avatar of you forever. Like you can go to Vegas for years and have a 3D thing of Elvis dancing.
Oh, exactly. I mean, and you could imagine other things too. Have you saying things that are illegal? Having you say things that can get you individually into difficulty?
Well, that's it.
That's already happened. That already happened. Fortnite, James Earl Jones, the AI James Earl Jones that was used for Darth Vader. That already happened, and that is something that I think should be illegal. That is something I 100% think should be illegal. If there is any time in my life I can agree with Alex Jones and the weird fucking nutters he talks to, that is one time. That is one time. Kimna says, I do expect Infowars fans to struggle to Google Alex Jones to find his next show. Yeah, they're not very good at Googling. They're not really good at that at all. You're right. They're pretty awful in general at finding information and data. So wasn't it consented by James before his death? Right, but I don't care. I understand that he might have consented to it, but there's plenty of reasons why I would not want that to be a thing that is allowed, even when somebody consents to it. Reason number one, somebody can be out of their right mind when consenting to that, or when they supposedly consent to that. Somebody could be put under duress when consenting to that. And the minute that you consent to it, and somebody makes James Earl Jones say, actually, raping children is good. No. Revocation. Nope. Gone. All it. Gone. Fuck off. Die. No. I do not want to open that door. That is a hotel room inside Pandora's box that ought stay occupied and never opened for vacancy. That can just stay gone forever. No. Sean says, what do you mean they managed to find him when he was deleted from YouTube? Anselin says, look at what they are doing with Val Kilmer. You know, I will say, as I have before, there are applications to use AI as a tool. There are applications for using it for search engine optimization because, you know, it's the fucking algorithm's a robot. Use a robot to figure it out. There are applications for coding. There are applications in the medical industry where you can use it for DNA sequencing faster than a human can, as long as you're checking it afterwards with an actual human. It can handle redundancy better than people can, usually. Because that's all it is. It's fucking redundant programming. And then there are applications to the technology that make me want to just vomit my fucking eyeballs out. And that is one of them. No. What about caricature for the explicit use of parody? So, caricature is different than simulacrum. If you make a simulacrum that is meant to be understood to be that voice, that person, that's fine. A caricature is protected under parody laws. Cobalt says, consenting to your voice to be used for a game marketed towards kids is nowhere close to consenting to using your voice to commit hate speech. Right, but you could make AI Darth Vader say all of the weird yikesy shit in Fortnite. So it may be nowhere close to consenting to use your voice to commit hate speech, but within Fortnite, people were able to get Darth Vader to do that, so I'm sorry.
Once they take over your identity, which they're saying they're doing, they're going to say things they say in the New York Times in my name to discredit me. They're admitting that.
I don't think they're actually admitting that, Alex. I don't think that's what's actually happening, because you have a track record of misinterpreting things and misrepresenting them in a way that benefits you and nobody else. Absolutely. Sean Nelson says, this is the reason why Disney needs to bring up some legal arguments on that one. You spend money to buy Dark Vader when you can make him not say bad things. Fennec says, honey, you don't need any help discrediting yourself. Yeah, Alex, you could just open your mouth and you've discredited yourself. That is A-okay. You just do that.
My identity to misrepresent me.
Correct. To contaminate the audience, to breach the bridges of trust and confidence that have been built up over long periods of time.
The trust and confidence in Alex? In that guy? The guy who said he was only playing a character as his legal defense? That's where the trust and confidence is? How? The world I live in is beyond parody. The world I live in is completely beyond parody. Holy fucking shit. It is insane. It is absolutely insane and silly and dumb. Alex Jones had trust. Said, oh, so Jones tried the O'Reilly Carlson defense? Yeah, the Bill O'Reilly Tucker Carlson defense. He's doing that.
Allow the public to be miseducated about key facts and issues by being misdirected and misguided by this fake version of you that they don't know is a fake version of you that you can't contest because they own you. I mean that's what that was. That was a 13th Amendment claim of ownership. Except it was even worse because if somebody physically owned you, you could always try to resist. How do you resist?
So Robert Barnes, I wonder, is this guy actually still a lawyer? Looks like he is. Interesting. So he represented Ralph Nader. He was one of Alex Jones's defense attorneys in his defamation lawsuit by the FBI. He represented 8 Covington High School students in a lawsuit that was later dismissed. He was initially part of Kyle Rittenhouse's defense team. Man, this guy really only takes the shitbags, doesn't he? Okay. Let's see here. I said that's why his face is similar. Barnes was hired in 2022 to represent Amish farmer Amos Miller of Miller's Organic Farm in the U.S. lawsuit against him refusing to undergo USDA inspection of his products for religious reasons. In 2024, Barnes represented Amish farmer Reuben King during sentencing for his May 17, 2023 conviction for privately selling hunting guns from his collection without a license. King was faced up to 5 years in prison, a fine of $250,000 or both. On January 23, the judge ruled that King must pay a $35,000 fine and will spend 3 years on probation. He made $500,000 betting on Donald Trump being elected to the United States presidency in 2016. Interesting. I wonder if he would actually use that 13th Amendment defense in an actual court of law, or is this just the stupid bluster of being on Alex Jones's show where you can make really, really fucking dumb claims? Didn't people wonder why I don't like the Amish? Jesus Christ. Okay, so dude's not disbarred. Dude is an attorney. He's considered a giant slayer of a lawyer because the people he fights against are usually like big tech and shit. So similar enemies, weird bedfellows, I guess. And he is very well known for wagering his fortune on political outcomes to make more money. Fantastic. This whole situation is still nightmarishly funny because ultimately what's happening is a dude who is, Alex Jones, who is well known to be a liar, well known to use defenses of being a character to say that he shouldn't be taken seriously, well known for being the guy who harassed Sandy Hook victims. That's his legacy. That's the grave that will be pissed on when he dies. When you are going to bat super hard for that person, I question whether you yourself are a good person. Because it's one thing to be the defense lawyer and represent somebody in a legal case. That's just you doing your job. Understandable. Lawyers are like mosquitoes. At the end of the day, they are going to need blood at some point. However, when you are actively being a guest on the Scumbags podcast, talking with them all the time, at that point, all I can say is, man, this is going to be really funny when y'all lose. Like, I agree with them about the AI shit, but I also think that Alex Jones is mostly concerned with himself being humiliated, which, like, again, just happens when he opens his mouth. Let's be honest. Jessica says, I think it works for Fox because if I remember correctly, they haven't docked survivors of murders and family victims. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's the bar. Yeah, and that's something that he did. And Marjorie Taylor Greene helped do, which people seem to fucking forget. When everybody, not everybody, but like the people who have been saying, oh my God, look, she's speaking sense now. Oh my God, did you forget what she did? She hasn't fundamentally changed as a person. She hasn't stopped being the person who helps harass victims of gun violence. She didn't stop being that person. She never stopped being that person. She just stopped supporting Trump. That's it. Jessica says, did you see that Marjorie is upset getting death threats? Boy, howdy, I'm so sorry that FAFO exists. I am so sorry, Marjorie. I can't be fucked. I can't be fucked. You also harass victims of gun violence a fuck ton, claiming that they didn't actually lose their children. I don't think I have the spoons to care about the death threats you may or may not be getting. And if you're getting those death threats from the political right, then the fucking screams are coming from inside the house. You made bedfellows with the people who are attacking you. It is your fault for sleeping with the fucking sharks. Handle it. Anyway, I thought this was going to be a thing for the secondary channel, but maybe there's actually enough here. Maybe there's enough meat on this bone for it to be something for the main channel. I don't know. K-Fox, you decide. But that said, I think it's very funny that Alex Jones is panicking right now. I think it is fantastic. Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagitt, you know I'm not saying that last part, Sylvie Snow, Valis of Seraph, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.